listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer, Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Rigarelia? What are you doing? Where are you?
I'm at Iceline. Holding the fort, TPH method. Got a little ice session here going on in an hour or so.
I was going to say, it's getting late. It should be dinner time for you right now and shutting her down, but you got to get back on the ice. I'll tell you one place you weren't on the ice, and that was Sunday at our men's league game. You bailed again.
Yeah,
Not cool.
Not cool. I know. It was legit bail, and I'll be there Sunday. I will be there Sunday.
Oh, yeah, like last Sunday.
Like last Sunday, but no, but like really there. Yep.
Well, you missed the Zingo. You missed the Zingo show.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, boy. He actually did, and he had a couple really nice goals. And Jeff from Rolling Rock had a couple. They were just going back and forth, these two, and then JD had a really nice goal as well. But we ended up losing by one. It was a shootout, I think it was 9-8. But it was a good game, man. It was fun. It was a fun game.
I gotta check the live barn clips, see how you're doing out there.
Yeah, I don't know how I was doing. I was just trying to hang on, man. That was my second game of the day, so at least, well, Zingo's just as bad. I was gonna say usually I'm playing with Foxy, but he's been up working up north, and so at least I'm not trailing him the whole time. But when I was out there with Zingo, I look up, I get the puck on the wall, and he's gone. He's at the other blue line screaming my name.
Stretch pass.
Oh, yeah, big stretch pass. But no, we had a good time. We had a good time, even though we lost. It was a good time.
Good stuff. Well, I'll be there. I'm going to bring the energy, Nast.
Well, I hope you bring it. I'll tell you what, we brought the energy last Saturday for the tailgate. That was a lot of fun. Appreciate everyone coming out. I know it was kind of last minute, but it was nice to see some friends and familiar faces. Bobby Ches showing up with the whole family.
Oh, the whole
family. I needed fun. I'd say Baller probably posted that picture. I think he did, but I needed a couple phone books to stand on. Everybody said they
you're looking a little petite there, Nast.
Oh my God. From Lower State, from Lower State Road Golf Center, our good friends and sponsor. Bobby Cesarini. He had the whole family there. It was awesome to see them. And man, it was a lot of fun. I wish I could have stayed for the game, even though the game didn't go the way we wanted Saturday against our friend Craig Berube and Stoley and Lotz and everybody else. But it was still a good time. It was a really good time. The girls, your girls, were well behaved.
And
I think it's because Joe DiBiagio and Paige brought their daughter.
Yes,
I think that locked them in to kind of a babysitting role, which is a scary thought for them. I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they were cool and composed.
They were.
I did want to mention too. We're working on a little activation at LSR golf range.
Yes, we are.
So it was nice to see them show up and support us. But we also talked about a few things in the future here. A little competition, possibly a little tourney.
Yes.
Working on the old golf game. I got to get in there and get some reps. So it might be
you do.
a great opportunity for that this winter as I work on my my golf game for the spring and summertime. So I can be legit with you.
That's right, and I believe Joe will be involved with that. Fans of Philly, we'd love for him to come out. I think we were talking about that with him, and it was nice to see a couple of the Warriors stop by the tailgate. The Duff Daddy and Big Dev came by to say what's up.
Mainer.
Maines. I did see him quickly. I didn't see him right till the end. He came over and grabbed me.
Yeah, he was a little bit elusive. He snuck in and kind of disappeared quickly. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
sneaky fucker, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have the Warriors Gala coming up, Riggs, on
we do.
The 14th of this month, which we've been talking about. Get your tickets, man. It's a great time on the Battleship, New Jersey. I love it, man. I had so much fun last year, and I can't wait for this year, buddy.
Yeah, I got to bring your dancing shoes. You're looking dapper
Oh,
last year.
come on, man. You know I will.
Oh yeah.
Dev doesn't want any of me on the D floor, man. I'm just telling you right now.
Maybe we can generate a little hype and call
Oh,
him out a little dance off.
well, I know one
Let's
thing.
call him out.
We're not gonna have you and Jessica's band at the gala
No,
playing
no,
because they put
not
everyone to bed.
it's not quite the place for that.
It is not.
No, we're
It
trying to
is
bring it. We're
not.
trying to bring it up, not dang.
You bring it down. Well, Romeo was trying to get some funky stuff going
Oh,
on
he
the
was getting
weekend, but
some
it
funky
just
stuff.
oh man, I love that bongo with the I was waiting on you to break yours out with the mic attached to it. It's a
No,
little
I
different.
wasn't quite ready.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was a little busy. I was
I
a little
know.
busy. Yeah, that's what
I know.
that's what Romeo does, man. He brings the energy, brings the
He does.
vibes.
Yeah, he
Big
sure
guy.
does. Man.
Appreciate you
Great
hopping
guy.
out there, Romeo.
Yeah, it was nice to see him.
What do we got in hockey world, Nast?
Well,
Land.
yeah, well, since we were last together with Danny B and Charlie Nama, we might have jinxed them a little bit. They went on a 2-game slide. They were playing so well at home, and but run into a Toronto team really needing a win, to be honest, and probably wasn't the greatest game the Flyers had played, but not making excuses. You want to win them all, but it's just one of those games. Toronto ends up winning at 5-2, and Vladar actually got pulled. Kolosov came in, kind of shut the door, stopped the bleeding. I would say, he had about 7 saves, but that got him the next start against Calgary, and that one to me, Riggs. There's no easy games in this league, but like you got to get that one, man. They're
You
just,
have to.
I mean, they can't
They're
score.
fragile.
Yeah, they can't score the hockey puck right now. They did get Huberto back, but that's one you want to get. And I thought Kolosov played well
Mm-hmm.
in that game. I think he's been playing really well in Lehigh. So he ended up with a 905 save percentage in that game. I mean, you only let 2 goals in. You're hoping you're scoring more than 2, but they were only able to get 1. That game kind of hurt to me. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
man, that kind of slows your momentum down. Even though you lost the game before, and it's back to back, but both teams played back to back. Game against Montreal, man, wow, probably the best first period they played all year. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
against a good Montreal team, a young, very fun to watch hockey team. Just they're exciting, man. Get up 3-0, and I jokingly said it. I'm at Elvis's practice and we're watching it, all the dads, and I'm like, well, I hope this isn't like Toronto, Pittsburgh last night where they go into the third up 3-0, and the Maple Leafs came back to win that game 4-3. But anyway, next thing you know, you got a tie game, then you're down.
Oh yeah.
Grabinkin comes up with a big goal to tie it. And then you go to a shootout, and Trevor Zegras in a shootout, man, dude, he's filthy. Like,
It's the same
and
move, and
all
it's
he
the
did was
same
go
thing.
5-hole, but it's just filthy because like it's almost. I guess if you're a goalie, it's so hard, but like you've seen him do that a lot, right? Like that same shot, but if you cheat,
You cheat, he goes over your shoulder.
he's able to do that. He's one of
Yeah,
those
that's
players.
it, right? You
And I
can't
just
cheat it.
no, you can't. And the Flyers outshot Montreal 42-20. I mean,
Right.
they were all over them. There was probably 1 or 2 Vladar probably won it back, but I know you and I were talking about that play Demidov made over to
Suzuki.
sorry, Demidov made over to Suzuki on that one timer. I mean, dude, everyone in the building thought he was shooting that puck. I mean, he leaned into it. I mean, it wasn't like a no look, like that he didn't go to shoot. He went to shoot and made that pass. And even Yorkie was in the lane. It just found its way into the net. But I mean, what a play. They're just exciting. And Hudson, you mentioned that when we were talking earlier. That kid's unbelievable, man, on the
Oh
blue line. The
man,
way he dances
mobile.
around. Oh,
Holy.
God.
Hey, a little tip for anybody gonna go right at him. You might want to play a little
Yeah, yeah.
safer because you might
Do
walk
not do
around
that.
you. Do not go right at Lane Hudson.
He might spin you into the ice. He just might do that.
Uh,
But I wanted to give, Zegras, I know there's a lot of talk about him, Trevor Zegras right now, but he just keeps going. And it's, I know we're only 13 games in. I get it. But man, has he been fun to watch. And the effort that I see, I don't know, maybe I didn't see it enough. I didn't watch Anaheim enough, but I just never felt like this guy plays as hard as he is playing. Like, I
Yep.
mean, his feet are moving, he's making plays. He's trying to play 200 feet,
Yep.
you can tell he's really, really digging in in my opinion,
Yep.
making plays. Like I said, moving his feet. He's constantly, his feet are going. I don't know. Is it too early, Riggs, to start talking about that an extension already? We know he's on his last year of his deal, and man, he seems to be elevating other guys' play as
No,
well.
I agree. Yeah. I don't think it's too early, honestly. I mean, we talked to Danny last week. Obviously, high praises there. Um, it's pretty clear as any Flyer fan or any Chell fan that this guy is hot. He looks real confident. As Danny mentioned last week, he's kind of found himself in a leadership role. He was one of those things that Danny never really thought that he would be, and he is, and he's finding a way to tow guys with him. And as you mentioned, making guys better. So for all those reasons, why wouldn't that discussion be happening? I mean,
Right.
he's doing everything that they expected and beyond, in my opinion.
Right.
Yes, 13 games in, but I mean, if you start off that way and you're this consistent and you're getting this type of praise, well, maybe some others are having a little bit of a slower start. I mean, hey,
Right.
like reward the guy, like, I mean, maybe too soon to actually do it. And, looking
Right.
at the longer term play, but to me, the segment of 13 games is telling that this guy needed a fresh start, and he's fit in perfectly. Like it just, like, every picture I see, I know he's a fun guy and he's happy
Yeah.
all the time, and probably not a whole lot bothers him, but just like, he just seems like the perfect energy in that locker room right now. And sometimes guys need a fresh start. You're a young guy going into I don't want to say a smaller market, but yeah, obviously not a Flyers type of market. You're
Right.
young, you're immature, you're a high skill guy that thinks you're gonna, finesse your way through the league. Maybe a little bit of a wake up call, some injuries,
Right.
some discomfort there coming to this situation here in Philly. He's grabbed this opportunity, by the horns, and he's for sure taking advantage of it. He's taken this very serious, as you mentioned. He's taken this 200-foot game serious, and he's having fun out there. And I think
Yep.
as a fan, you can see it, and the energy within the team. Obviously, there's other guys on the team. It's not just him creating the energy, but he's a big part of it. I mean, he's got a swagger, he's got a
Yes.
vibe, and he keeps it loose, right? I mean, he's fun to watch. So I hope we can keep it going.
He is, and you're right. I mean, he's just fit right in. I mean, it's like, sometimes it takes time, right? But I mean, it just seems like from day one, it's just been a good fit. And like you said, he's a positive. He seems like a really positive kid, like loosey goosey, has fun. But I'll tell you what, man, he's showing up like we just said. Like he's fun to watch, man. He really is, and I hope he keeps it going. He seems to be really happy here.
Yeah,
If he's
yeah,
not, then he's the best actor. He should get no, like he's a great
totally.
actor. But and the guys just being down there the last Saturday, seeing him and watching some of the guys and just the way they were interacting, like you could tell when a room's close and having a good time. And it's fun to see, man. It's fun to see, and it's TK has had a bit of a slow start, kind of picking it up now. We were talking a couple weeks ago about Tip's quick start. Now he's like, he hasn't
Yeah.
scored in a while. He's still stuck with 5 goals. Hopefully he can find his rhythm and start putting the puck in the net like we talked about a few weeks ago. But big win anyway. That
It
was really
was.
what I wanted to say in Montreal. That's a big win against that team. That team's they're a fun team to watch, man, and they're
Oh
really
yeah.
good. And they're really good.
I did want to give a shout out to old Bobby Brink there too, right from the start of the game. Again, he's
Yes,
buzzing, obviously tapping his stick, getting redirects.
that was a
Two
great
goals,
goal.
possible third goal there on that, power play entry where the defenseman blows a wheel and gets a stick on it. But he's buzzing.
Yep.
and just seems to be always creating and just being involved. So just that energy, right? It's just like it's
Yep.
just undeniable. Some of these guys, and you're bringing the energy, the good things happen. Props to Coots too. Like that
Yeah.
first goal, that goal, like he's the first guy on it. He's protecting the puck. He's got 3 guys on him. He's finds a way to. Well, a little bit of a help by the Montreal guy mishandling the puck on the wall, but nonetheless, like you got your captain in there hunting down pucks.
Yep.
It's obviously a team effort, and it seems to be working. So you're gonna lose some games, you're gonna have days off, but like to respond the way they did, come back, going to Montreal. Yes, they blew a lead, but they found a way. So
They found a way, and also we can't not mention D'Lo's.
Oh yeah, Big Tilly, yeah, right.
Fisticuff there with
And beating up,
Wi-Fi.
right? Beating
Yeah,
him up in Montreal there
yeah,
too. He hammered him a
Jack.
couple times there.
Yeah, Xhekaj's tough customer, man. But D'Lo, I'll tell you, man, we were sitting up watching the game, and guys were like, he might be the toughest guy. I mean, he throws hard. I know there's a few. Obviously, Olivier, we talk about him and
Yeah.
Columbus, but
Well, he's a
D'Lo,
top 3
man.
guy for sure. I
Oh,
mean,
100%.
Reeves, Olivier, Deslauriers. You
Yeah,
could maybe argue some another name in there, but I mean, to
yeah.
me, those 3 jump out to me.
There, yeah,
Um,
D'Lo, man, he knows when to do it.
yeah.
It's not about him. That's what I really like about him. And anyway, it was good to see that too. Kind of try to get the boys going, and they end up
Well, it
winning the
worked too,
game.
right? I mean, think about
Yeah,
that. I think it was 4-3 at that time. I'm not sure
it was
why Xhekaj would want to fight then.
maybe because D'Lo beat his brother up in
Well,
preseason.
that's probably it. So then it's like it's one of these things. Is it like is this more of a personal thing than a team thing? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you got to
Hmm.
think about this stuff. Yeah, you can go around and say, "Well, you beat my brother up. I'm going to go try and beat you up." But like,
Yeah.
hey, is that the time to do it?
Right.
You're up in your own building. Yeah, you could say if it was in Philly, you certainly wouldn't, right? Give them one.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
they
Exactly.
scored a couple shifts later. Grabenkin scores a few shifts later. So I mean,
Yeah.
hey, props for both of them showing up.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly. Love them both, and
Mm.
it was good. I got to talk to D'Lo for a few minutes on Saturday. Man, he came over just sweating, shit coming like sweat coming off his
All of his
beard.
beard, yeah.
He grabs me. He's like got me in a hug, and I'm just like, oh, D'Lo, I gonna have to go jump in the shower here, boys.
Yeah.
But he's awesome, man. I love that guy. Great guy. Riggs, I got a question for you. Tuesday night. Did you see the game between Nashville and Minnesota? One of the craziest goal calls or allowed, goal that I've seen in a while. Last time I remember seeing something like this was the outdoor game where the Rangers, I believe, were playing the Islanders. They came back to win the game. The goal's knocked off its mooring. Well,
Mhm.
so Nashville's goalie, Onanen, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, basically pushes over and knocks the post off. Baller will probably throw the clip up here so you can see it. And he does kind of extend his arm. Kaprizov makes a pass over to Marcus Johansson, and his first shot right away hits the outside of the net, but the net has been dislodged and ends up turning. And Johansson then takes it to his backhand and throws it into an empty wall, which is the boards behind the net because the
Yeah.
puck's moved. I want to read the rule to you, Riggs, and ask you your opinion because I don't think this should be a goal. I really, the way, if you interpret the rule, the way it's read. Anyway, it's rule 63.7. You got to bring it down to
You gotta
read
bring
it.
it down.
Yeah. So the rule states in order to award a goal in this situation, the goal post must have been displaced by the actions of a defending player. The attacking player must have an imminent scoring opportunity prior to the goalpost being displaced, and it must be determined that the puck would have entered the net between the normal position of the goalpost. Okay, makes sense. But Johansson's original shot hits the outside of the net. I think it's dead then because the net's off, correct? What are your thoughts? It was just a crazy ending to a game.
Well, that's the way I read it, and that's the way I would interpret it. That one opportunity which he's hit the side of the net, and that would have been killed then. You don't get the
Right.
second, you don't get the secondary whack. The only way I can see that there's maybe some confusion in the language is if the goalie is not considered a defending player, which he has to be.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, he knocked it off. Clear
Right.
as day. You get your whack. that was it. You score that, that should be a goal, but you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like the weirdest thing I ever seen. I never seen anything so crazy.
When I saw, I'm like, well, that they're trying to explain it. I'm like, oh, well, that's not a goal because the first Marcus Johansson's first shot attempt, I guess, hits the
Yep.
outside. Well, then it comes right back to him because the net's swinging,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so then he puts in it's funny because he was probably just like, oh, I'll just do
It's
it.
like a child, just like
Yeah, like,
let's
oh,
push
here,
it in there, right? Because I'm
let me just
pissed off,
push
the
it
net's
in. And
off.
then the guy's pointing. I'm like, what? There's
Oh
no
man.
way that's a goal. But I would be pissed off, man, if I lost the game that way. I mean, you did get your point, and a good thing was also that Stamkos finally he scored a goal.
Yeah.
Which is maybe that gets him going. But anyway, it was just a crazy finish to a game, like one of the
Oh my God.
craziest I've seen in a while.
I agree. I wonder if we can get the access to the audio clips of this dialogue between the ref and Toronto.
Yeah, I
You know what
know,
I mean?
right?
Like, what's going on? Like, especially with something like that. Like, it just seems so obviously wrong that
Yeah,
whoever on the other side said that was right is like, what the
it makes you
on what
scratch your
premise?
head.
Yeah, I know. I still can't figure it
I,
out. But I
I
mean,
don't like they probably read the rule. Someone in there in that whole situation
I
room.
hope so.
So, like, I guess the refs have to know all the rules, right? Like,
I would
probably,
say so.
but either way, like, okay, if you called it a goal the first time, maybe you missed that initial shot by Johansson, but then you go look at it, it still say it's a goal.
Yeah.
The way it reads, it should not be a goal. But
Yeah.
anyway, has nothing to do with you or I or the Flyers. But I just thought it was so crazy of an ending to a game.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be another 5-10 years before you see probably something that wacky where you're just
Yeah.
standing there scratching your head and wondering what the hell just happened. But
Oh,
hey,
it's wild.
another crazy moment in NHL hockey. Just
Crazy.
the way it goes. With all the footage, all the technology, we still
Yep.
can't figure it out. But
Yeah. Also wanted to mention Riggs, November 10th this week is the anniversary of the unfortunate passing of Pelle Lindbergh and our good friend Charlie Menz, the Swede of Philadelphia. Go to swedeofphiladelphia.com. You can see the
yeah.
trailer for it, man. I'm really excited to go see it.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. That's a big doc and good for Charlie. He's banging the
Yeah.
drum big time, man. This
Oh,
guy, you
man.
talk about like having to market your films and like find every possible avenue to get this good word out there. Props to him. He's a hustler, man. You gotta give
He
him
really is. He really is.
nothing but props. But it looks to be that this documentary is rock solid on every
Yeah.
level. I
Oh,
mean, you talk
man.
about if you're a Flyers fan and know any bit about the storyline itself, like it seems to be well done and essentially getting how many different Hall of Famers and different guys' perspectives on it. It looks to be pretty amazing. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. You talk about working hard, man. This guy, he's been every time I turn on a TV, radio, he was on WMMR with our good friends,
Oh,
Preston,
nice.
Steve, Marissa, Nick, and everybody. It was awesome. Watch the video of it. He was on there for quite a bit of time. It was actually a really good segment. And he was on the network last week,
Mhm.
talking about Baller, giving
Yeah.
Baller his props, our boy.
Yeah, yeah. Banging
So
on doors.
and Charlie showed up to the tailgate.
Yeah,
He
he
showed
did.
up.
Yes, he
He
did.
trained in from Long Island there and came down and saw us and turned our heads. And their ballers like, oh, he left. I was
He's
like,
yeah, little
where the
ninja
hell did he
dust.
go? I guess home. He went
Yeah,
back to New York. But
disappeared.
yeah, looking forward to seeing that and all the work he put into that. It's going to be really interesting.
Absolutely.
Also, Riggs wanted to bring up kind of, to me, I thought it was hilarious. Like, I don't think the guy was trying to actually take something and not give it back. But last night in the St. Louis Washington game, Ovi, we're still talking about Ovi, scores his 900th goal in NHL. It's just crazy. So it's against St. Louis. Jordan Binnington's in the game. So the whole team leaves the bench. Well, Benner picks the puck up, puts it. It's like he's got a pocket in his
Yeah.
goalie pants, right? So he
Stuffs her
kind of
in there.
stuffs her in there. Finally, they start coming around the lines with the refs. Hey, like, get this puck back. So he finally digs in there and gives it back. To me, I just think that's fun game. And I think he's pissed off because their season's not going the way they want,
Right.
obviously. But like, if he'd have thrown it into the crowd or something, but like, you're getting it back, right?
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't hijacking the puck.
Yeah, but I just thought it was a baller. I'm sure throw the clip. But I just thought it was kind of funny, and it reminded me of a couple things that have happened in the past. One to our good buddy, God rest him, Ray Emery. His first postseason win back when he played in Ottawa was against Tampa, and Tim Taylor, I think, was the player, took the puck and like said he threw it in the garbage, and then Ottawa goes on to win the series. Tim Taylor actually gives the puck to Ray, which was cool. And I would have been afraid of Razor if I was Tim Taylor.
Yeah, I know, right?
And he said, I guess I read something where he actually said, hey, I hope you appreciate the gamemanship here's playoffs, just trying to get under your skin. And Razor, as we know, if we didn't know him, we thought, well, this guy's crazy. But then once we got to know him, we see what a good human he was. And he kind of laughed it off. And then it also reminded me, which is kind of a bad memory, when Patrick Kane scored.
Oh yeah,
in 2010 against us to end the Stanley, dream of a cup for us with the Flyers, but that puck still hasn't been found, and I don't know if our good friend had anything to do with that, but there's been a lot of
it's a mystery now.
Our boy Chris Pronger, the fool.
Oh yeah,
somehow I think might have ended up with that puck, but they got the FBI involved looking for that fucking puck. Still to this day, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but Baller will tell me if I'm not. But kind of reminded me of that. But Ovi got his puck, but the Blackhawks didn't.
No, they didn't. No. Yeah, when you score 900, you better get your puck.
You better.
I saw Tony Hawk giving Ovi props. Like that's
Yeah,
how
that's
big
crazy.
that's how
Yeah.
big this guy is, and in the world of hockey and goal scoring. When you got the best skateboarder of all time doing a selfie video to show you some love for 900, you're doing something right there. But props to him. I mean, you're not going to find a more exciting, fun, energetic hockey player that could score the way he does in the next, I don't even know how many years you'll see before you find a guy like that, that type of specimen. But geez,
I know. Crazy.
Props to you, Ovi. And yeah, I'm glad Binnington it's always fun. He's a character. He wasn't stealing the thing. There's a lot of haters. Like, this guy's this and that. But there's no way you can hijack that puck and not give it to Ovi. You go down as the biggest fool of all time.
Yeah. I was laughing immediately, and then I see like people online, and that's just how it is. But I thought it was hilarious. But he got his puck back.
You got it.
But anyway, I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, glad you brought that up. All right, Nast, episode 215 with our good friend Alex Lyon, goaltender for the Buffalo Sabres, former Flyer, former Phantom. Brought to you by our good friends at Camden Apothecary. Here we go.
Look at this guy.
What's up?
How are you, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Great, buddy.
Oh, well, good to see you, brother.
Riles, it's been a long time.
Been a minute.
Yeah.
Great to see you. Happy to see your success.
Excited to jump on. I think the Lehigh Valley 3-on-3 scratch skates played a lot in my success. So
yeah,
the reps in.
You can take some credit for that.
Oh yeah, a lot of 2-pass games. Actually, I've been doing teaching some hockey over at the Hockey Academy here in Westchester. It's TPH is the Hockey Academy, and we do a lot of 2-pass. Actually played 2-pass this morning. Little
do they get it? How old are the kids?
Between 12 and 18,
okay.
But they get it. But it's but they want to hang on to the puck extra long and make take that extra time to make the play, and then they turn it over and they never make the passes. So how it goes.
It's crazy. It's just such a skill game now. Nobody likes playing the game, but
yeah, right.
Yeah,
it is a skilled game.
All the young guys are so good now. It's crazy.
So good, yeah. It is actually incredible. Like seeing 12-year-olds with the skill that they have. Like never in a million years growing up would you see skill like that. Just the hands, the way they move, everything about it.
It's like handcuffs for them though, because they're so good that they don't chipping a puck, getting the puck on the wall and chipping it out is you got to learn that skill when you turn 20 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think about that. Yeah.
How many times?
Right.
I yell for Elvis is a 2014. He just turned 11, and he's got they're a top 20 team. They're AAA and a top 20 team, and the kids are all skilled. Riley's seen them play, and it's crazy how good some of these kids are. But just because my son's a goalie, I think get the fucking thing out. Just get it out.
Yes.
Off the glass, boys. Like,
Yes.
stop. Oh man. It's crazy, man. You're right, though. Those little things that are so important. Like we were talking about Justin Braun last night.
Oh my God.
With the dads. We were like, talk about a guy that made a career of just making the simple play, man.
Yeah.
Just getting the fucking puck out of the zone. Like, I don't know how.
He's still playing.
Is he still playing?
He's still playing. Yeah, I just looked up. It's crazy you say that. I looked up his hockey DB like last week. I feel the same. I feel the same way. I'm like, I love this guy so much, and he just made a career out of like doing absolutely nothing in the best way.
Yeah.
And he's playing in like Germany or something. Just probably still chipping it in, chipping it out. That's it.
Yeah, right. Play away from the net. Get off the ice.
Can't get scored on if the puck's not in your hand,
right.
man.
For real. Right. You can play 600 games in the NHL by just having nothing happen when you're on the ice. You know?
That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, as you know, Alex, like you've seen this before, and you probably still see it. Some of these guys, no matter how much you tell them, how much video, how much they know, they gotta, cut their loss now and then. They still struggle with that decision making. They still want to hang on to it and make that extra sexy play, no matter what. And they feel like they've done something wrong if they don't make that sexy play. Versus to what you said, is live to fight another day. Move the puck north and just like skate into it or forecheck or something other than turn it over.
It's crazy, but it's like I also just always wonder, because I was thinking about like, all right, if I'm going to stay in hockey, like what kind of things do I want to think about or like talk about, And I'm just like, is it possible to convince a 21-year-old kid, like high skill player, to be like, just go watch the Florida Panthers in the playoffs? You know what I mean? Like nothing happens all game. And then somebody turns it over and Sam Bennett scores. Yeah. And it's just like, that's how you win games. It's unfortunate because it's not that fun to watch, but it's like, that's the way.
Yeah,
that is the way. And I don't think it's ever going to change, because that meat and potatoes, like no matter how high the skill level goes, and I'm not sure how much higher, but it seems to be, it's going to be unlimited. It seems like, but like that grunt work, like it's going to continue to prove to always be true that you have to have the element of energy and tenaciousness and all that, that stuff that's just ever true since the start of hockey, that exactly what you said. You're going to eventually breed turnovers, and you just have to have your skill guys or your guys finish the job and actually score goals. But that ingredient's not going away. I don't see it. I mean, you're not going to skill your way to the Stanley Cup.
No. And it's weird because it's like, and it is just, does just come with age and like obviously seeing stuff and maturing, but it's just like a game of risk management. That's all that hockey is. It's like you're just playing risk management the whole time, and then hopefully you have a $10 million player to put the game away for you in the last period.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's how it's always going to be. It's never going to change, like you said.
That's right. But it is incredible, the skill of the game. We had Danny B on before you hopped on here, and we were talking about a couple of the guys, but Zegras, just like some of these guys with the skill level that they have, and finding that extra layer of ingredients to the formula of like the digging, Zegras has got 12 points in 10 games with the Flyers, but he's digging in. He's doing a lot of like things that he probably maybe never did before, but the skill level is just it's just incredible. And again, these young guys, like you're never going to see a bad skater. You're never going to see a guy that really doesn't have some bit of soft hands, because it's trained so early. It's almost like you have to decide to be a hockey player at 4 years old. Now the way it's going.
It's cool too, and it's cool like when you see guys, especially like such high skill guys, and then like they turn into more mature players, and like it seems kind of like that's what Phil. I don't watch the Flyers too much, but I'm sure you guys watch them a lot more than me. But it seems kind of like he's turning into that like good blend of a player of like, because he's obviously his skill jumps off the page, and I think too, and you guys could probably like speak to this a little bit more, but I always felt like once you get away from that first team that you're drafted by or like signed by, and you kind of like a dose of reality hits you that you're not just going to be like the star point, you know what I mean?
Right.
That sometimes that can really help. Like I know that really helped me when I left Philly, because you almost just don't like understand or know, you don't know what you don't know. And then you go to a new organization and it just kind of like real life hits you a little bit more, and you just turn into a more responsible player.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. We see that a lot when guys move from their first teams, that I don't want to say they kind of find themselves, but maybe it's just part of the process of like the first couple of years. It's like you're finding yourself, you know, if you're a high skill guy, you're not scoring and you're not playing those high level minutes, like you're going to have to do some other little things, and it takes time. Goalies, I can imagine like the ups and downs early on in your pro career. You know, like there's so many like weird things you're figuring out. Like I can't imagine like, you know, the stability for most of these guys, but it seems to be true. Like almost, I don't want to say every time, but it seems to be that guys go and they find like a new energy. You know, they kind of rediscover themselves a lot of times.
Right. Yeah. Well, goalie's ridiculous. It's, yeah, I think even when you're young, I don't even think it's as much about the physical as it's just about like learning to deal with, you know, the pressure, and like being a starting goalie or a goalie in the NHL takes like a lot of work, and it's a lot of responsibility, and it's hard like mentally, you know, early on. And like Nasty, you know this, especially as a goalie parent now. Like I remember last year, because Jeff Petry's got 4 boys, and one of them was thinking about playing goalie, and another parent on his team is like, why would you want to drive 6 hours just to get blamed for every time your team loses? Right? It's like,
exactly,
that's the perfect like encapsulation of being a goalie. It's just, you just got to learn to you're going to be the hero, and you're going to be, you know, the GOAT sometimes. So that's just kind of how it goes.
That's right, man.
That's the nature of the beast. But you always came across like a guy that was like totally dialed in. Even when you first came with the Phantoms, you were like a pro immediately. Obviously, you were still, you know, raw in a sense that you were figuring it out. But you seemed to have the right attitude every day. You were hungry. Was Zepper there? Who was there with you that year? I can't remember.
Zepp left the year before I got there, so it was like me and Stoley. We were there for the first 2 years.
Oh yeah, that's right, Stoley. Yeah.
And then Carter. So Stoley got traded, and then Carter came in. So I got to see like we had a pretty good run there in Lehigh. For a couple of years. So that was fun for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even obviously be able to carry that professionalism. Like there's a couple guys that come to mind, like Bobrovsky being one of them. We had him in Philly, and you see this guy dialed in. Like even Stoley, like, you know, when he was with the Phantoms, like I knew there was something there, and you can see it, but you know, it's almost like too early to tell. There's too many variables almost. You know, the confidence is not quite there, but you see some attributes that you love, but just how you're dialed in, and it seems to have carried you forward. And, you know, obviously you get opportunities and you're taking advantage of the opportunities, and you're just doing your thing. It just seems like you found your groove, and you found, you know, a calm, you know, relaxed demeanor, and it seems to be working for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I mean, I think one thing that I've been lucky, and my parents were psychopaths in the best way, you know, but they were just like pushing all the time. And so that's how I am. And I guess when I was young, like, you know, when you're young, you're just like pushing relentlessly. You don't like maybe necessarily care how you operate within the team, or like maybe how good of a teammate you are, or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then I think, like I said, like you move out of that first organization and you try to like fit in a little bit better. You understand that like but to your point, I'm lucky that just comes naturally for me, and that's how it's always been. And goalie is really just like a vessel for me to like really show that part of my personality, that like ultra competitive side. And as you guys know, like being super competitive is probably the best quality you can have. Yes. And like bouncing back and being resilient, and it's just, there's going to be bad days. It doesn't matter who you are or how good you are, or how much money you get paid. There's going to be bad days. And so, yeah, just fighting back all the time. And maybe a couple of years there in Lehigh. Scott Gordon, he was at times like a really challenging coach, but like he honestly made me mentally tougher. And so I'm actually like appreciative for that now at this part of my career.
At this time, you're like scratching your head, like, what is this? What is this nonsense? Driving hours outside of the city for your cannabis makes no sense when Camden Apothecary is just 5 minutes from Center City. It's right over the Ben Franklin Bridge, easy to get to, no crazy wait times, and they've got everything you'd expect from a solid dispensary. Top shelf product from the brands people actually want. You can walk in or order ahead online if you already know what you want. They keep the process simple, the shelves stocked, and the vibes chill. Locally owned, no corporate weirdness, just a real shop run by people who care about the product and the community. They're open 7 days a week, right off 676 at 1205 Haddon Avenue in Camden, New Jersey, with a huge parking lot. Hit up CamdenApothecary.com to check out the menu or place an order. Again, that's Camden Apothecary, real close, real solid. It's so refreshing to hear you say that. Can you talk maybe to that inevitable adversity that we're all going to face, whether it's in life or hockey, for these young listeners, young youth hockey players? Because I think a lot of these guys think it's going to be this perfect path, and like, I'm great, and everything, the coach likes me, and then until like there's adversity, a lot of these guys struggle with these roadblocks, these bumps in the road. They feel like everything's caving in on them. They can't self-regulate. Can you maybe give some of these guys a little advice on how to self-regulate when things get challenging?
Yeah, well, it sucks. Obviously, like I think that was a big thing in my career is, and I think when you're young too, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I think sometimes like there's this like, especially for young hockey players and young professionals who are trying to find their way through it, like you're encouraged to, just stay positive, like be happy. And I guess one thing that I realized is you have to kind of embrace the grind of it. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if you try to ignore the bad stuff and just like stay positive, like, it's like, no, you have to kind of embrace the mud. And I find that, and as you guys know, like that's kind of how the best guys are. They're like, yeah, I'm going through it right now. I'm like not going to try to sugarcoat it, but I'm just going to power through it. And as long as I keep grinding on a daily basis, it's going to turn around. That's just like over the long term, that's really how you have to see it. But I think like a lot of people get stuck in the trap of they want to like feel really like positive and good about themselves. And it's like, in my mind now, I'm just like, there's going to be 2-3 times a year where you just don't feel confident and you don't feel good. And it's the times like that you have to like enjoy it and love it. And that has to carry you through. And, honestly, like, and Nasty, I'm just thinking about you right now and thinking about how like you were like such a sick equipment manager because you would just like grind so hard all the time. And when I was young, I didn't understand that. And now I'm like, dude, this guy was probably like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to go drop all this stuff and do this right now. But like, I'm thinking about you, but you know what I mean? You see like, whether it's staff or you see other players, or maybe there's a coach or a general manager like that. And you try to learn from that. And you talked about it earlier, like Bob is the best at that. He's Zen guy, and he can power through all of that stuff. But like, being around G and even Jake, like Jake kind of had his own way, but Jake was going to show up at 7 p.m. every night and be in the right spot, and he was going to grind no matter what. And so like, I feel lucky that I got to kind of be around and see that stuff. And that's, you try to take the good, and apply it.
Yeah, that's really good insight.
Awesome. Yeah.
You don't hear many people talk about that, right? You're right. I mean, a lot of times it's just like, put a smile on and suck it up, right? It's like I don't want to say use the word grieve, but like we don't really sit with some of these like darker emotions because we're all human and life isn't perfect, and it's not just all ups. There's a lot of downs, and I think you're right. This is kind of like being grateful for the pain. He's
right.
You're grateful for it all but you got to embrace the dark with the good. Otherwise, we're just ignoring it, and it's not. It maybe not comes. It doesn't come across as authentic as it could, and maybe when you're pretending, it's not going to work itself either. Versus just owning it and and just kind of challenging yourself and battling through.
Right. Honestly, like when you say authentic, that's probably the best way to say it, because you guys know how it is. Like when you're in a locker room, you can smell that authenticity, and you can smell immediately a guy that's just like putting on a mask and just maybe there for the wrong reasons or anything like that. And I don't know, I kind of love that now at this point of the game. And I think that's how it is. The older you get, the more you just love, like, yeah, like let's just pile on the terrible times, and I dare you to like take me down. You know what I mean? I'm sorry if I'm getting too deep here. I'm really
no. This is great. Seriously, this is great, man. It's great.
But this is this is how I am, and like this is like I love being here, and obviously like being in Buffalo. It's like, why are we beating around the bush? You know what I mean? Like in Buffalo, everybody understands that it's been a tough go, but for me, like I love this. I was made for this, and there's going to be tough times this year, and this is what I'm good at, is just like powering through those times. So it's kind of like a fun experience for me right now, for sure.
Yeah, well, it's definitely showing in your play. I've actually, because you're there, I've been watching more, but you're playing a ton of games, which is great. Also, I'm sure you love that. Maybe you're looking for a break here or there, but you started off 4-4-3, I believe, at the team, and your save percentage is 912 right now, and knock wood, we'll keep that going higher. But we always joke around, like I had Lindy Ruff my very first year. Christ, she might not have been born. I don't even want to say it, but in Florida, in 93, 94, it was the inaugural year of the Panthers. And I'm not sure, I never worked under Lindy as a head coach. He was an assistant, and he was just one of the funniest humans. And he was always playing practical jokes and pranks. But we always joke about, this is his third stint. As you know, you're new there in Buffalo, just signed it. Congratulations, by the way, on a 2-year deal. But it hasn't been great for them. It's been a bit of a, I don't want to say shit show, but it's just been tough in Buffalo, and it's kind of sucks to see, because back in the day, I remember when I first started, like when Danny B and Drury were there, and those guys, they really had built that team up, and it was a fun place to go play, and the crowd was great and everything like that. But we have fun with Lindy saying it's his third run here. And then we were joking with Mike Richards was on with us. We have him on for a spot called Captain's Corner a couple times a month. And I say, well, if Lindy doesn't work out, I think they're going to bring Teddy Nolan back in. It'll be his third time. But it's nice to hear that you're happy there and you're embracing that. Like you guys are trying to get better, and it shows in the game so far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you can feel the energy on the team, and it's so tough. Philly's going through it right now, but it's when you just have that like, losing like feeling, it's so tough to break out of that. And it's kind of the same thing as we were just talking about. It's like, you just can't, I just don't think that you can ignore it or put a Band-Aid over it. I think that you have to like kind of face that, and because it's a reality for us. And yeah, Lindy, I think is great for us because he's so experienced that he really doesn't ride the ups and the downs anymore. But he's got a very good feeling about, when we play well and when we play poorly. And he's very honest about that. And I think that's really important for us. But it's been crazy to me just being here because, I always would like, obviously you think about the playoff drought and stuff like that, but this team has an average age of like 24 and a half years old.
Yes.
And I'm sure that when you guys watch the games, it's like this team plays with so much energy, and they have, they're trying, I think we're trying to, I shouldn't say we are trying to like find that more consistent, like passion on a game to game basis. And that's just like becoming older and more mature. But the core here is so crazy young still that I think that it gets underestimated, that like me and Jason Zucker are the only guys on this team that are 30 years old or above. And as you guys know, like it's hard when you don't have, a lot of vets in the room to kind of show the way. But I've been so impressed with like Tage and Rasmus and the young core that they have, but they're all 26 years, 27-year-olds or younger. And honestly, to like play the way that they play is pretty impressive to me. And so I just hope that I can help in honestly whatever way I can, and make it as smooth here as possible.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job so far, man, and I think it's going to get better. I would say, I was saying to Riles earlier, one play. Well, I wouldn't want to be a goalie anyway. You guys are nuts. But having Tage taking some 1Ts in practice can't be high on your list of things to do. Hey, bring the left.
Bring the heat. Bring the heat, Tage.
E-bug. Hey, come on, for practice.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen, but the hot topic lately is that Buffalo is now carrying 3 goalies.
Okay.
And if I'm playing, I'm not taking any Tage one-timers. I'll tell you that. If we got 3 goalies rolling, we can have that luxury. So it's a good luxury to have sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to ask you about your first NHL win. Do you remember it? I mean, that's probably a dumb question, but I remember it, and who it was against and the situation you came in.
Yeah. Well, Neuvi, you always had to be on your toes a little bit. And I love Neuvi. He taught me so much. But for sure, Madison Square Garden doesn't get any better than that.
No.
I don't remember it that well, to be honest with you. I not really like nostalgia guy in that way. I don't have like my jersey from the game or anything like that. But it was a grind, man. It's just always was a grind. I remember coming in and being like, because I think I had actually like lost my first start and maybe my second start. And so then at that point, it was like, man, I'm like, I got to reapply to college. I'm going to have to find a different career, and this is just like the human nature stuff. And then you just come in and you're like, all right, I'm just going to try as hard as I can. And whatever happens, and just be an animal out there and be desperate. And it worked out. So
it did. You stopped 25 of 26, just to refresh your memory since you don't remember. But I just remember being so pumped for you because obviously, like, when I met you, I just, you're just such a nice guy and just a great human. And we were all, trying to talk about music here and there. We were always like shooting the shit, but I was just so happy for you. And what a place to get that first win too. You did have to come in for Neuvi, which happened. I love Neuvi too, man. Don't get mad at me, Neuvi, but you did have to be on your toes if you were not starting, and Neuvi was, because he ran into a lot of issues sometimes. But
that being said, Neuvi also, I think we would both agree, one of the most talented goalies I've ever played with. Incredibly talented human being.
I've said that to so many people. I'm like, you guys don't know how good this guy was. It was the dynamic when Steve Mason was here and Neuvi, it was wild because it was like Mace played better if Neuvi was hurt or something. It was crazy. And Mace talked about that, but we learned a lot about Mace that I never knew when he came on, and he had a lot of mental struggles early on, and even with the Flyers, and we never knew that because you just didn't see it, right? But then Neuvi would go on a 5 or 6 game heater, and the guy looks like he can't be beat, and then he tweaked his pinky toe and couldn't play. You know what I mean? Like no, I'm not making fun, but it would just be something strange. This guy's on a roll. But anyway, you're right. He was so talented. He was so talented. And I love Neuvi. He was great to me. He was a great guy.
Well, just to put a nice bow on the spin, I will say that, and I've been around other guys like this, but he was so committed to being the best version of himself that I think that was the one way that he knew how to play and be highly successful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, sometimes you make the choice to adjust your game a little bit in order to feel a little bit more comfortable on the ice. And I think that he was just like, no, I want to be committed to playing at a super high level, and then wouldn't compromise that.
Right.
And so that's just like how I think some guys see the game and how some guys know how to play.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We're talking a little bit about I really try to stress to Elvis, like, for a goalie, and I know he's only 11 and he's probably not going to play in NHL. I'm not one of those guys, but I do stress the mental part of the game is where you don't see a shot for 10 minutes and, they're kids, and Elvis, it doesn't take it. I don't know where he gets it, but he's a little messed up.
Yeah,
but his mind, no, but in all seriousness, I'm like, you have to stay mentally sharp and be ready for that next shot. It could be, and it usually ends up being a breakaway. First shot of the game, 10 minutes in is a breakaway kids hockey. But no, what I was going to say was the mental aspect of it. And you've always seemed to be really good at that, like Riley alluded to earlier. But I just wanted to go back to in 2018, you're playing in the playoffs, obviously the longest game in the American Hockey League history. I think it was 146 minutes long, but you stopped 94 of 95 shots. Dude, that's insane. And I remember listening to it on my phone in bed, and I kept setting my alarm. I literally kept, because I was dozing off, and I kept setting my alarm and listened to Bob Rotruck. And he got so tired, he was answering himself. He was asking questions.
I think that was normally Bob.
Was that normally? Okay.
Yeah, how much of that was
I was saying, well, what a shot that was. Yeah, it sure was. I'm like,
great job, Bob.
Yeah, Bob, I agree. No, but, just your thoughts and like, I can't imagine like how much weight you may have lost that night. Sweating, as a goalie. But if you could just talk about that real quick, that was incredible. It was incredible.
It was crazy. I mean, that was like an out of body. Like I look back on that, and that's like one of probably the most proudest moments of my career. And I don't know, man. I just don't even know what to say about it. It was such. I feel so bad actually for Alex Nedeljkovic because he made like 67 out of 69, I think, or something.
Right.
He was the other goalie. And he also played incredible and played. I mean, that was like 9 periods of hockey. So that was ridiculous. You guys would appreciate this story, but I'll never forget that Radel Fazliev didn't play for like the last half of the third period. You guys remember Faz?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
He didn't play for like the last half of the third period. And then so we got into overtime, and of course, Gordo's like, I mean, I'm not going to play him now. Like he hasn't played for, 45 minutes. Like I can't ask him to take a shift in overtime. So sure enough, game keeps going. Did not play a single shift in that game past the halfway point of the third period. Sat on the bench the whole time. So
that's crazy.
I hope that he's listening to this because Faz is the actual hero of that game. That is insane. Like he's the best guy. Never complained, worked hard, and he was just sitting there for like 6 hours doing nothing.
He had to have unlaced the skates on the bench. He had to.
Those things were barking.
Not a chance you're getting on now.
Oh my god,
that's crazy, man.
How do you not squeeze him in there? Like,
well, at some point, it's like, dude, this guy's our secret weapon. Like, let's get him out here. He's the only fresh one. Let's go.
Oh my god! Can you imagine sitting there for that long?
Oh my!
Looking down the bench and still seeing him. Like,
right.
Still here.
Everybody else is just like, oh god damn it. He's like, I need a break.
I need a rest.
I feel great, boy. Wasn't bad at all. You're talking about, you're here for years, a few years, and you signed with Carolina. And I remember messaging you, and you go on to win the Calder Cup in 2022. One of my favorite pictures ever. I did not realize you actually got suspended for 2 games. Baller, you're going to have to throw that up, the picture, because I know we have it. You won the, I believe it's called the Hap Holmes Memorial Award. I think that's what's called for the American League.
So.
Lowest goals against average. I mean, you had a hell of a year, and winning that cup, man, I just must, like, Riley won a Calder Cup. I was fortunate enough to win 2, but I don't care where you win. it means so much to everyone, and it's a great learning experience too.
Oh my God. I mean, winning the Calder Cup is obviously winning the Stanley Cup. We all know,
Right.
But winning the Calder Cup is like almost grindier in a way, because you're definitely not getting the playoff bonuses like you're getting in the NHL. You're still got to pay rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the commitment to win the Calder Cup is crazy. But yeah, I got suspended. I don't know if you're going to show it, but flipped off the camera.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just a little angsty at the time, but that's just. I guess it's just like showing emotion. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you know me, it's kind of on brand a little bit.
Yeah.
But I got a call at like 8:30 the next morning, and the AHL commissioner had already ruled. He's like, "Yeah, but he's suspended for 2 games." I'm like, you can't give me 24 hours to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Also, like I don't care too much. It's all good, man.
Really.
So
I was gonna say you guys had to have been partaking in a couple adult beverages. I was surprised you even remember that call at 8:30 in the morning.
Well, I don't know, maybe less than you'd think, because I don't know how many people listening to this have been to Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay, I have.
It's not the ideal place to win. Great place.
Yeah.
Not the ideal place to win the Calder Cup.
Right.
But yeah, great time, great memories. We were a wagon that year. I think.
Yeah.
You could probably say, I don't know if you looked at but like we had, like Podorowski had like 100 points. Steph Nason, who's in the NHL. I mean, we just had 6 or 7 NHL players, which, on an American League team, that's a pretty good recipe. Two NHL goalies. Xhekaj was with me, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I knew that. That's right.
Yeah. So we knew for a long time that was kind of on our radar, and it worked out, and definitely a top 3 hockey memory all time for me. Just like you said, you grow with that group of guys, and you're friends with them the rest of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Quite the run.
Yeah.
Was it the next year you were with Florida?
Yeah, and then that year after I was in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, can you talk to that? Because that was an interesting scenario in itself too, right? I mean, I think Bob goes down, and I mean you're riding the vibe and doing your job. Talk about that.
Yeah, real quick, Riles. On top of that too, I remember reading some of the players were like, Alex, say like you saved the season, and because you came in and you went on a lengthy winning streak. And you brought the team back into playoff contention.
Yeah, I remember
starting in the playoffs as well. And that is where he earned the name the Lion King.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was great. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Riles. Go ahead.
No, I mean I would pass it on to Alex there. Yeah.
No, it was it was obviously amazing in the moment. Like going to a Stanley Cup final. I got to play in a Stanley Cup final game. Like that's so lucky. You have to be so lucky to have that happen. So I feel grateful for that. But like looking back now, after they've won 2 cups in retrospect, it makes it like so much different in my head, because I don't know if you remember, but the year before they won the President's Cup, and they were scoring like close to 5 goals a game or something like that. And they were just an absolute wagon. And then Bill Zito traded Matthew Tkachuk for Huberdeau. And kind of like changed the identity of the team in a pretty drastic way. But the first half of that year, the Panthers, they were like 500, kind of like that 7-8 spot, but they were grinding. And I think that it was really frustrating. I was up and down a lot. And it was just like, they were just kind of like trying to find their answers. And Paul Maurice was trying to create more defensive responsibility. And we kind of got down to those last like 7 or 8 games. But Bob had played like close to 10 or 15 straight before that. And so I was just sitting there chilling, like working, like grinding in practice, but I was feeling so good and so healthy because I hadn't played a long time. And then Bob got sick with 7 or 8 games to go in the season. And I took over and I just got on a heater. But I do think like the team really turned the corner at that time in terms of like the way that they wanted to play. And I think that I kind of just like coincidentally coincided with that a little bit. And then all of a sudden everything clicked and they were like, if we just commit to like playing the game the right way and dumping the puck in every single time and forechecking extremely hard all the time, like that's a amazing recipe for success for us, because it was a very talented team. And everything just kind of fell into place. So yeah, it was amazing for me. And obviously getting him over the hump was so cool and like a memory that I'll have forever. But it was just like amazing to be a part of that kind of Panther story a little bit. And now that they've won back-to-back cups, it's just incredible. And I can't say enough about the Panthers and the way that they treat players. And obviously you guys, you're nasty. You probably know Teddy down there. Like,
yes,
he's one of the best, and his crew and train is awesome. Dakota. But it's just like, that's every part of their organization, from the medical team to the way they treat their players to the preparation they have. Barkov, like being around him and being around Bob, the amount that those guys prepare for games, and Matthew Tkachuk is like, okay, it's not a surprise that they're as good as they are.
Right. You said it too, like kind of learning the way they play. And we talk about this all the time. Obviously they won back-to-back. They've been to 3 straight Stanley Cups, which obviously you were part of the first one. They're a heavy, hard team to play against, man, and skilled. It's like you said, you turn the puck over, Verhaeghe's burying it, Bennett, Reinhart, like whoever, even, the way Marchand stepped in there, like he's not the main guy now. Now he's a third line guy. Well, he's still getting a point a game, and to play it, like, it's just the way they play. You said it, man. I don't know Paul Maurice. I've met him a few times. I don't know him, but man, he just seems like, the guys buy into what he's selling.
Yeah. They completely buy in. I think one thing that everybody really respects about Paul Maurice, and he says this a lot, is I just remember he would always be like, I'm just a guy in a suit. Like, I never played in the league. And I think that guys love that so much about him. He's not trying to like play the game for you. He trusts his players like very deeply, and is like, you guys know what to do. I'm just here to like put the guardrails on and make sure that you're going in the right direction. And so like, I think that's an amazing coaching philosophy and something I try to think about a lot. But the culture there is incredible. And I mean, it's just like, once you see teams like that, it's just like I understand now for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now, what you mentioned about Paul Maurice there, it's interesting because I actually haven't heard that before, but I do appreciate guys that are like that. I feel like there's a few other guys in the league that there's no ego or flex around, their role on the team, like they're honest with who they are and where they played, but they don't shine or they don't have any of that taint that, the guys sense. Like it's almost like, I could smell, I don't know if it's a level of arrogance here or a level of like, I know better, but he seems to be like, that what you describe seems to be spot on, because you can see how he interacts with the players and how they interact with him. And I think that's a great way of describing that like type of philosophy, is just creating the guardrails. It's just like, here's the system we all agree to playing. And my job is not to tell you how to play it, but just let you do your thing. And guys got to love that and trust that.
Yeah. And they have a great leadership group there too. Yeah, right. And that helps a lot, between Matt and Barkey and Rhino, and I mean, go down the list. Sure. But I've just never had a coach like that before, where he was just like, I don't know, like, better than me. Why don't like you can make the best decision. Yeah. And actually the other guy that I would say who kind of reminded me of that is Todd McClellan, and he came in for us last year there in Detroit, but he also has a very good touch, kind of in the same way, where he's like, here are the answers to the tests. Now it's your job to go out and do it. It's not, I can't do it for you. And I think like putting that onus on the player, and I think it's different for some coaches too. Like Lindy obviously played for a really long time as well. So he just like sees things differently. Like I was with Rod Brindamore in Carolina, and it's just like they also played the game, so it's a little bit different of an approach for them. Not better or worse, it's just like different. But Todd and Paul Maurice both kind of remind me in that same way, but where they're just, they just expect you to be passionate and play with energy every single night. And if you do that, that's really all they expect from you. And then we'll like dial everything else in later. And I think that's what players love, because it really is hard to play with like a lot of passion and energy 82 times a year. It's brutal.
Yeah.
And like getting it going, getting those emotions going every night, and like being invested in the game and invested in winning, I think is something that's underestimated. And if you promote those things, and I'm excited to come to the rink every single day, and I want to play for my teammates, that's a pretty powerful thing.
Yeah. No doubt.
100%.
Yeah, it's a special skill if you can cultivate that environment for your players. Because you think about like back in the day, it was like you were walking on eggshells. You didn't hear from your coach. Like it was just a completely different energy.
What did I do?
Yeah, right. It's like, am I getting sent down, or what's happening? No one's talking to me. But like, just such a different energy, and to have someone that you know what you know, and you know what you don't know. You're not going to pretend you know when you don't know. I think guys sniff through that all day long, but I think being honest with that is like, hey, guess what? I don't know, but like, here's the roadmap. You guys know better than I do, and I do appreciate that, because it does take a level of, again, putting the ego to the side, right? Because it's easy to be like, well, this is my way, this is the way, but it's really not. We're a team, and collectively we got to toe in the same direction. So,
well, I think too, it's a two-way street as well, where it's like those guys do a great job of buying in to Paul Maurice as well, and I'm sure you guys have seen and been around teams like that, where it's like maybe the coach actually is pretty good, but if you have such a jaded group where they're not willing to buy into that, sometimes you have to just kind of go along just for the sake of going along. And so credit to the players as well, but they got a special mix down there, clearly 3 Stanley Cup Finals in a row.
Yeah.
And now it's crazy how like everybody wants to be them and be just like them.
That's right.
And I think that, it's hard to find, studs and a system like that. So, but yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. It actually is crazy now, because I think every coach wants to just like dump and chase and go low to high and create chaos. Rod's been doing that for a long time, but I don't know if you can replicate that.
Right. You gotta have the right people. You gotta have the right guys to be playing that brand. I mean, and obviously the Panthers do. I mean, the big bodies, power forward types, some of them, and you got to have the right guys to be able to play that grind game. It's just like it's a heavy game.
They're not bad. They're not bad on the back end either.
Yeah, right.
So.
No, and Bob is obviously perfect for them. Yeah. I mean, he's just, you guys know Bob, and he's an emotional, like, stalwart. He's so even, like, all the time through the ups and the downs, and it's crazy. But
yeah, he's a beauty. I was lucky enough. I got to see him actually twice in 1 week. I was down there for the Flyers opener in Florida, because I work for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship Ice Wars. I'm the head equipment manager for that. Which was crazy. It was in the Amerant Bank Arena on ice, first time, bare knuckle. Al, you'd love it.
I've seen videos.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, I got to see Bob down there, and then when they came back to Philly a couple days later, I went down, and Elvis got to talk to him and see him and everything. So it was really cool. I wanted to ask you quickly. I know we kept you here a little bit about playing in Detroit. And you had a good year last year, and our buddy Cam Talbot was there with you, and it was crazy. I know you may not have the answer, but I was so shocked. I love Peter Mrazek. Like, I know that the guy was great to me, but I was so shocked when they brought Mraz in. When you two, I thought were playing great and everything, but what I really wanted to ask you was about playing with Patrick Kane.
Yeah, well, so to address your deadline, hard-hitting question, I'll certainly address that. It's no problem. I think that we were just a little up and down last year, and it was tough for us, and I think for the coaches and everybody, because they came in at Christmas. So Newsy got let go, and then Todd came in at Christmas, and so it's just like, I don't think that I necessarily had the longest track record with Todd, and Cam had been with him for like 5 years, whether between LA and Edmonton.
Right. Yeah.
And obviously, Cam, he's like,
Yep.
he's the top professional going. Like
Right.
he's one of the most underrated goalies in the league. And so I think that they were just looking to go in another direction. Certainly I wish I could have played every game but you can't live like that. And like, I don't hold that. It's just business. And,
Yep.
They went out and wanted to go, I think, with a little bit bigger swing, obviously with Gibby there this year. And, so that's just part of the business. That's just part of the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the second question?
And then I was just talking about Patrick Kane.
Kaner.
He's best American player ever.
I love talking about him. I guess what was crazy to me is how committed he is to playing hockey and like getting better at hockey. Like he's obviously so skilled, but the best asset about him is his brain, and like how well he thinks the game, and he manipulates players and goalies like so well in such subtle ways that I think is like even underappreciated still. And cause I'm like, I love watching hockey. I watch every single highlight. I'm just like addicted to it. And it's so satisfying to see an amazing player like that, who he's 37, 38. Like he doesn't need any of it. Right. He literally just loves doing it because he loves doing it. He watches hockey all the time. He's always watching what other guys are doing. And to see a guy that's committed to their craft it makes you like want to be better. And he's also like so humble, that was cool to see too. Like around the locker room, he's just a great guy and pretty subdued and like incredibly humble. And he made me way better. And he, would like just here and there, like subtly like toss me something or give me a little piece of something. And I tried to hang on to that and like listen to everything that he said. But he was just like, had so much humility about it too. And obviously that comes from his dad. I think that he comes from a very humble family, obviously here in Buffalo. But so much respect for him for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's unbelievable to watch. I can imagine watching that in real time.
Yeah, every day.
Observing the mitts on him.
I was fortunate enough to be at the 2010 Olympics, and he was there, and watching him practice. I mean, I remember at the pre-camp in 2009, before we went to the Olympics in 2010, watching him skate and being like, wait a minute, like he's got more wheels than I thought, because he's one of those players that obviously with his hands, he can slow the play down. I mean, it must be fun to play hockey when the D are backing into the zone and not closing that gap on you because they're afraid you're going to embarrass the shit out of them. Yeah. But I just remember watching him practice and how hard he practiced. And even in 2016, although that was almost 10 years ago now, just the way he practiced and all the little things he was working on. And he's always been good to me. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on him. He's just, to me, the best American-born player.
It is pretty crazy how well he can wheel around. And like even last year, just because he had the hip thing going on, and it's just so it was like, but he's so dialed in every single day, gets so much treatment, works so hard on his body. And I don't know about like the skating boost or 20 mile an hour, those analytics that go now, but I think that he actually is like still like pretty consistently one of the top guys in that, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody from the Olympic Committee is going to listen to this, but I can't believe that you'd leave PK off the.
Someone said that the other day too. I heard someone else say that as well. I know.
It's like I don't know if the most clutch player of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably have a big goal or two for you, but
that's the truth.
No, it's sweet. It's actually cool too because I think that like him and DeBrinket's sons are the same age, and so they were just like they have a great friendship, and so I think that he really is enjoying his life there. And it's a good crew in Detroit, and they got good things going on there for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to watch.
Awesome.
Well, Riggs,
all right.
You got anything else, man? Riggs?
I got one more for you before we let you go. Obviously, you're a fan of hockey. Curious on, who was your guy growing up, and if you have any interesting memorabilia that you could share with us. Just talk about it a little bit here.
I'm not memorabilia guy.
Well, that's not the answer I was looking for, Al. But for the people that are looking for memorabilia, our good friends at GT Wholesale just moved to Haddonfield. We've been talking about it for a few weeks, Riggs. They've got some unbelievable stuff. They've been around since the 90s. They're the East Coast distributor of Rydell Sports, like with tons of football helmets, which was really cool. I told you last week I've actually already purchased one for a gift. It's awesome. You got to go to their site. It's gt-wholesale.com. And when you go there, Riggs and Alex, make sure you use code NASTY for 15% off.
I do have and had an unhealthy obsession with Dominik Hasek. And I always try to state this case everywhere I go, but anybody who wants to debate the best goalie of all time argument, and I don't know, maybe I have a few, you might advocate for somebody else, but the numbers that this guy was putting up in like the 90s in comparison to what everybody else was doing, he was stopping he had like 939 save percentage.
Yeah.
And everybody, the league, like the best other guys were just trying to get above 90, and he did it for like 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
And I just cannot believe how insane this guy was. And is also just wasn't random. Everybody I think watches his highlights and he's like, oh, he's flopping around. Like, everything he did was calculated.
Oh, totally.
He was so far ahead, and I just can't stake that claim hard enough. So I loved him for sure. The Wild actually came in 2000. So I was born in 92, so I was still pretty young. But the Wild were not really on my radar. I loved the Gophers, like Keith Ballard.
Oh, yeah.
You guys probably remember him.
I had him in a world championship. We called him the $1 Million Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for Bally.
Yeah, he was from my hometown. He's from Baudette. Okay. So I loved the Gophers, though. I loved college hockey. Back when I used to think college hockey was the coolest thing in the world, and then you get into the pro game and you're like, all right, pro is sweet. But I don't know. I'm not really like a big hockey historian guy. I'm more of like, I love the strategy of the game, and like, I love the team building. I love the team building aspect of it, and like how teams are put together, and like philosophically and stuff like that. So I can talk about that all day, but in terms of, and I always felt bad because obviously Flyer history is crazy. How deep it is. Detroit also has that.
For sure.
But if being around the Flyers is cool, and always having those guys around, that's the best. So I did cherish that a lot.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Hey, keep it going, buddy. We'll be in touch, my man. I'll see you when you swing through here too. Come see you.
Also, I was talking to Willie. I told him I was coming on a podcast with you, and he was just saying how he gave you everything that you got, in the game. So he just wanted me to pass that on to you.
Did he? He said that. Huh? All right. Yeah, I love Willie. Give George a smack in the head tomorrow with his flat top. He's still going ever since. Ask Georgie about the first time we met. We literally almost went toe to toe. We were both about back then, way back. We were both about $145, and we were getting ready to throw down.
Somehow, I feel like he goes toe to toe with like everybody.
Yes, ask him about when Rob Ray threw him into the stick rack, picked him up over his head, and threw him into the stick rack. Some good stories with that.
All right,
but thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.